Hey guys, David the Thrifty Mechanic here again with another video for you and a tool review at that. So, people like welding. They want to know what it is, they want to do it, especially in our field. It's a really beneficial skill to have because you're dealing with stuff that breaks all the time, like suspension components, things like that, and you might not have the money, or your customer might not have the money to get it replaced. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know that there are lower control arms where the passenger side's $60 and then the driver's side's $400. So it's like, how do you price that? Anyway, you got to be able to know how to fix that stuff. And you know, if you're in a tight spot, or you know, you're a guy who likes to go off-roading and you manage to snap your LCA or you crack your frame or something like that, you need some way to be able to get home. And this is a good opportunity for that. Take a look at a Monster welding helmet. This is a cheap helmet. It's not cheap, but it's not cheap either. It's about 120, 130 bucks. It's auto-darkening, and that's what I would recommend for everybody until you find out what you really like. Auto-darkening, because it'll let you do grinding, which hurts your eyes. It'll let you do welding, obviously, and it goes from 9 to 12, 13. So it's auto adjusting. Well, manual adjusting, you can adjust it to wherever you want. I keep it on to 12, that way it's dark. If I felt so inclined, I could look up at the sun and see it, but it's dark and it won't hurt your eyes. So your eyesight will be protected. Now, there are some risks and stuff with auto-darkening helmets. You need to make sure you test them every single time that you use them. Don't just trust that it's going to hit. You know, if you have to, turn it all on, look up at a light real quick, and you should see it blip black. You can't see anything at that point. It should do that consistently, because if it doesn't, you need to either change the battery or something's going on with the sensors on it or something like that. Always keep these clean. You know, they shouldn't have anything on them, no grease or oil. Right here's the sensor bar for it. It senses the UV. And if you don't keep that clean, you could run into problems. But anyway, we're going to go through a few things on this that make this pretty cool and a really nice addition to your toolbox if you don't have it already. From Snap-on, I think they're like 130 bucks. You can get them cheaper on Amazon and stuff. Always look at your best opportunities and your best prices, because if you don't, eventually you're going to get mad because you found it for 30 bucks cheaper at a site that you shop regularly. So check all your sources, guys. So starting off, it's made of plastic, but it's not a soft plastic. It's got a nice little lip guard here that helps keep it to where your neck's not exposed so you don't get a ember going down your shirt. Inside here, it has a removable lens. It has adjustment features that shows like delay and sensitivity. I always keep my sensitivity way up high because I'd rather it be too sensitive than not sensitive enough, and I arc flash myself. So it's nice, and it even has a little switch in here right there. You can't really see it too well. It says weld or grinding, and it's nice. I really like it. I think it was a very good buy, and for people who work in really hot climates, it's got a nice little sweatband here. And this thing, I've welded with it a few times when it was above like 60 or 70 degrees, and it gets pretty warm because you're sitting there next to an electrical arc that's melting metal in an instant. So it gets pretty warm. The battery's pretty easy to get to. It's off on the side right here. You can see it. I keep the battery pulled out because I don't want it to drain the battery at all, like when I'm not using it. So there's that. You can remove this face and switch it out to a grinding face or whatever you want. It just depends on you. The model number for this is MSTWE1309. I really like it, and if you guys are in the market for a nice welding mask, this is definitely the one. Now, for usage, you know, most people, they're like, well, I don't know how to set one up. Well, it doesn't take much. You just got to find what's comfortable for you. So you should be able to look down, find out where you're welding, and this shouldn't be able to fall on your face. It should be nice and snug, but not too snug. it should be able to fit on your head without hurting, and it shouldn't fall down your head. So like when you put it on, it should pretty much stay put. I mean, it might settle a little bit, but nothing outrageous. So first and foremost, make sure it fits your head. And that's what this nice little adjustment feature is right here. And this has a lock on it, so it doesn't turn unless you push down. And that's what I like about it, because you can adjust it to your head, and then it's not going to unadjust if you scratch the back of your head or something like that, or you're wiping sweat off. It's not going to adjust without it. Sorry if the camera seems shaky. I'm using my laptop today. I'm dressed up in a tie because I had a funeral to go to, but forgive me for that. Anyway, $100, well, $130, and you get a pretty darn nice welding helmet. I mean, it is not bad. Would I say this is like pro grade non-stop? I don't know, because I'm not a professional welder. I don't claim to be. I'm okay, and I can weld engine blocks and stuff. If you guys have never welded an engine block before, like along the crack, you need to clean it up. Maybe take like a V Dremel or something and go in there and clean it up and try to V it out. That way you have somewhere for all that metal to settle when you weld. I TIG weld on these because it makes it easier for me. You know, you just dot it and go along and it looks real pretty. As long as you got your stuff set right, it should look great. But so I really like it. I like the pin up on the side. Gotta love that. And some basic things that you need to know about a welding helmet is they do require some upkeep. Keep that clean. This little bar right here on any welding helmet you own, whether it's this one or one similar or a Miller or anything, keep that clean. That's your sensor bar. That's what flicks the auto darkening on. And if you guys don't know what that is, there's in here has a UV sensor. So when it senses a UV ray, which is what's bad for our eyes and can blind you, this senses that and darkens your screen, and it'll protect you. And this has a test feature on it where you can put it up to the light and you can set it up. You hear that clicking? That's the test button on it. You can test it right there. So I keep the battery pulled out just for that, because I just don't want to kill the battery, and it just dropped out. But I keep the battery pulled out because I just don't want to kill the battery if I don't have to. I don't do enough welding to make it highly necessary to keep multiple batteries on hand, but I still don't want to kill it. So, what are you looking for with a helmet? You're looking for something that is going to fit your head and protect you. You don't want anything that has just a regular old jaw shield or something. You want something that goes down and covers your neck, because this right here, very sensitive skin. Don't get an ember there. It hurts really bad. I mean, I had one hit me somewhere right here and I thought I was dying. It hurt that bad. It was a good size ember too. So unless you want to be running around stripping with your shirt off in the middle of the shop and having guys whistle at you, if that's your thing, don't do it. So wear a nice helmet. Get a decent helmet with a good neck guard that actually covers your neck. If you're a guy with a longer neck or a taller head or something like that and it doesn't fit right, make it fit right. Drill it out. Put leather curtains on it if you have to. Something like that. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It's just got to work. It's got to protect you, and that's the important thing here. There's one thing that I always try to tell people whenever they're working with me, for me, or whatever. Don't cheap out on your protective equipment. I've said it 1,000 times in these videos, and I'm going to say it 1,001 times. Don't cheap out. Because you cheap out now, instead of buying those $10 glasses, safety glasses that are shock resistant and impact resistant and puncture resistant, you're buying these basic safety glasses from Harbor Freight that may or may not be made with a quality material. And if they're not made with a quality material, what makes you think they're going to protect you? That's where I'm coming from. And you know, that's like my biggest thing is, if I'm gonna be doing this stuff, I'm gonna do it safely. I wear earplugs. You guys can call me a puss. I don't care. I wear earplugs. I wear eye protection. I wear gloves. Don't get me wrong. There are times I don't. I get caught up in something. Like if I'm doing tires, that's just dirt. That's not oil. It's not chemicals. It's dirt. So I don't care about wearing gloves with tires, because tires are tires. But if I'm doing timing belts, if I'm doing timing chains, if I'm doing engines, if I'm doing stuff like that where I'm going to be coming into direct contact with some serious chemicals like brake clean, oil, brake fluid, coolant, things like that, protect yourself. I know that you think that all that stuff's not going to hurt you, but every single individual exposure adds up. And when you get exposed to stuff all the time, it's not good for you. It doesn't do you any good. I mean, gloves are cheaper than snot. You can get them anywhere. So you don't need much. I mean, most places offer gloves now. So just try to protect yourselves, guys. I can't stress that enough. My biggest thing when it comes to protecting myself is making sure everybody around me is safe, because you're only as safe as your most unsafe person. And if you guys aren't going to be safe with me, I can't trust you. And if I can't trust you, that means I'm not going to be putting work your way, because I don't know if you're going to kill somebody, and I'm not going to give you the bigger jobs. I'm not going to give you the more technical jobs that take some thought. Not saying that people who don't wear gloves are bad mechanics. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some amazing mechanics. But you know what? Their backs hurt. Their heads hurt. They can't breathe for shit. They smoke like crazy. Everything hurts on them because they don't protect themselves. They just treat their bodies like hell, and they let it go to hell in a handbasket. And I don't want to. I want to live till I'm old and gray and not be destroyed. So you have to take steps for that. Inspect your lift every day. You know, if you notice something weird about your lift, don't use it. Call a certified lift inspector, a certified lift repair company, whatever you got to do to protect yourself. Don't let your service manager come out and say, it's fine, because you're protected. You're protected by OSHA. If you feel that that lift's unsafe, and your service manager comes out and says, it's fine, that means he's assuming that responsibility. He's an expert on lifts. Just like if I said to somebody with brakes, if I said, yeah, they're okay, I didn't even look at them real good. I'm not an expert or whatever. It's brakes, but it's my example. It's like, say that inner pad is completely worn down and that person gets in a wreck because they can't stop and they kill somebody. Whoa, sir, did you know your brakes were completely gone? No, I just took my car in for an oil change, and I told him to check it over real good. I thought my brakes were getting there. I heard a grinding sound, and he said they were fine. Who said they were fine? Well, blah, blah, blah auto. Okay. And they go in there and they arrest you because you said that this car was fine. And the thing is in some states, you're not required to have certifications on or licenses to work on cars. So anybody under the damn sun could be working on it. However, in some states, and I wish every state was like this, they required licensing to where people with actual credentials and actual experience and stuff can say, yes, I know what I'm actually talking about. I don't have a little paper ASE that says I'm a master. I have the actual master license. That's a different ballgame. And I think everybody should have that. That way we don't have any paper master techs that are running around making $30 an hour and they aren't worth shit. I mean, how many people have experienced that? So, anyway, to make a long story short, buy good protective equipment. If you're looking to get into welding, the MST WE1309 is a good starter. It's comfortable. It's fairly inexpensive. It's $130. It's an auto-darkening helmet. It has delay. It has sensitivity settings. It has a light that tells you whenever the battery's low. It's a little red light right there. And it's just nice. And the graphics on it aren't too bad. So, you know, what is there to lose other than your eyesight? You don't wear a welding helmet and you're trying to weld, you're going to hurt yourself. So just do everybody in the world a favor and protect yourself. That way you can protect everybody else around you. Because if you get arc flash and you can't see and you run into something and you fall into something else and a car falls off the lift and kills somebody, that's not going to be good for anyone. So try to protect yourselves, guys. I'm David the Thrifty Mechanic. I'll go ahead and put the part number for this in the description. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm sorry I haven't been putting stuff out. I've been having a lot of stuff going on. I know I say that every single time, but I just get so darn busy, and this is just a hobby for me. I don't make anything from it. And sometimes when I get extra time, I make my videos. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate the steady comments. Please comment with any critiques you have, good or bad, and as long as they're constructive, and just let me know. Thank you. Bye.